Hey everyone, welcome to episode 39 of the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by the immaculate Jack Cepeda.
Hi everybody.
And the miraculous Collin Sparling.
Hello everybody. It's been a week, guys. I hope you are having a lovely one.
Just a lovely, sweet week. We're back from last week when we did our retro episode. And if you haven't checked that one out yet, you should totally do that. It was interesting. I don't know if you guys listened to it like over the week, but it was weird for me. It was
the audio equivalent of looking at baby pictures kind of in a way.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Man, us from 9 months ago, one full maternity cycle later.
Yeah. 3 trimesters later. Here we
Days
are.
of yore, yeah. No, it was fun though. It was a good time. I'm glad we had that going.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was ruining my kidneys in the Carolinas. So
that's fun. It's always fun because you have 2 of them. Might as well live with one of them, right?
Yeah, that's true. I found out that I really like Irish car bombs.
Why though?
They're not bad. I've had worse.
I love Irish car bombs. They were delicious.
You got to drink them so fast though. That's the key, right?
Yeah,
I know, and I can chug.
Yeah, but like chugging Guinness, like I've done it once for Beerio Kart. I mean, like it's good beer. Why would you chug it?
Let me answer your questions. Let me answer your questions to Collin for Collin.
Oh, okay.
So Collin, you were at Myrtle Beach, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I started in Charlotte, North Carolina,
Wow.
and then spent a couple nights there, and then drove down to Myrtle Beach.
So the answer is why, Robert? The answer is because he's at the White Trash Riviera of beaches. It's why.
Myrtle Manor.
But then wouldn't it be Bud Light, the white trashiest American beer?
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. Myrtle Beach, I haven't been there in a long time since I was a little Jack. And I don't have great memories of it. I'm sure people go there and make bad life decisions. I'll bet you saw a 4-wheeler on the road once or twice.
You know, it was too fucking cold. That's
like
the problem.
ATV?
It was too cold for the craziness to come out.
Yikes.
Really?
Yeah, that was the sad part. And there was I won't name the bar, but there was this really divey, like sketchy bar. So we were down the road on Ocean Ave from our hotel, and we went to this place called Tiki Restaurant and Bar. And of course it had like a strong luau thing going on. It was pretty crowded. Like they had pretty decent food. A lot of what did I have? I had schnitzel for the first time.
Yes.
It was very good.
First time?
Yeah.
Yo, congrats.
Yeah.
But also get with the times.
I know. Listen, dude, I can't even begin to tell you how bad my palate is. But anyway,
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me you had schnitzel at a luau themed bar?
Yes.
isn't that crazy?
Myrtle Beach, baby. Yes.
Things get wild down there. People don't know what they're eating anymore.
Wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, dude. But anyway, we were gonna go to this really artsy fartsy bar that was like a couple blocks down afterwards and have some more drinks because they had like liquid nitrogen cocktails there.
Ooh.
That looked really cool. So we go all the way there and it was closed. So we walked back towards where we had dinner and we went across the street to this bar that was really unassuming looking, but we're like, hey, you know, we can work with a dive right now. Why not? So we walk into this bar and was greeted by the smell of what smelled like literal human waste.
Oh,
Delicious.
not what I expected.
Good. That's great.
There was not a single body in that bar
Ugh.
aside from the guy that owned the place and his, what I'm pretty sure was a mail order bride.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So we sit at the bar and I'm like, oh my God, I can't bear this smell.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
and my mom's friend who was with us, basically my aunt, she's like, it's not that bad. I kind of like the place. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm looking at me and my mom are looking at her with like squinted eyes. We're like, the fuck? What? And so this dude like walks up and asks for what our drink order is, and this dude looks like he's gonna train me to beat Apollo Creed. All right, like this dude was wearing like an Everlast like jacket and with like the fly collar open, like really Italian looking dude.
Wow.
And I thought he was gonna like have his hand up in the air and like pinching in the air like he like and while asking me what to order, but
Jesus.
Wow.
But no, he was a super nice guy though, and he was like, well, what do you want to drink and blah blah blah, and so we ordered drinks and they weren't terrible, but I'm like, please help me, we need to leave. So like somebody else walks in, they sit at the bar and they light up a cigarette and start smoking in the bar, and
Good.
I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to that because I think I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. So I'm like, listen, I want to leave because I'm gonna start feeling like shit.
Okay, so you're telling me the smell of shit wasn't enough for you to be like, I don't need to be here.
Well, I know it was, but just to throw insult onto injury, sort of thing. Like I'm like, dude, yeah, like, can we please leave?
Like, look, look,
my mom's friend's like, no, I want to stay here. Their drinks are cheap and like these people are nice. I'm like, dude, we need to leave.
Look,
I'm pretty sure the ice in that freezer has been there for months, and they're probably scraping the alcohol off the walls of the freezer.
This sounds horrific.
I'm just saying, if I walk into any establishment, any room that smells like human feces and it isn't a bathroom, I think twice about my decision of whether I'm gonna stay.
Yeah,
let alone consume something.
I'm pretty sure the only reason I was even tolerating it was because I was already buzzing. But
They must have been really cheap drinks.
I mean, they were pretty cheap.
Fuck.
But yeah, dude, like the smell of that bar, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna get sick if I drink at this bar. So I played it safe and I got a bottled Stella Artois.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I stuck with, and then
Myrtle Beach, baby.
Yeah, and then we eventually left and got an Uber and got the fuck out of there.
Did the Uber
That's
also
the end
smell
of that
like?
story. That's the whole payoff.
Did the Uber smell like poop too?
No, surprisingly, no. We were picked up by a dude in a really nice Cadillac.
Nice.
But here's the kicker. Afterwards, we ended up going to the bar in a hotel and was like a bar / bowling alley, and it was even worse.
What?
What was worse?
What?
Not the smell, but the service and the drinks themselves were way worse, and they were like double or triple the price.
Well, it's a hotel bar. Yeah.
Yeah, and the bartenders had no fucking clue what the hell they were doing. Like they had okay, so tell me if this sounds wrong. They had cinnamon toast crunch Jello shots.
What? That's fucking really weird.
I don't know.
Two great tastes that taste weird together.
Look,
I think it's one of those things where we ordered it and we didn't really think about it, and then we got it and we're like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever put in my mouth.
because I've heard of cinnamon toast crunch shots or like
Right,
cocktails,
which we did quite a few of.
yeah, those are good.
You know.
And look, I love my crunchy Jello as much as the next guy, but I don't think I'd like cinnamon crunchy Jello in my mouth, no matter how much alcohol's in it.
Oh.
Cinnamon crunchy Jello.
Oh.
I do not like. I just
Think about
All
okay,
right.
that's one of the worst like food combinations I can think of. So the other one that like really grosses me out, if you think of like peanut butter and like salsa.
Okay,
Those together would be really
why?
gross.
Are we gonna?
Why?
I think we're gonna have to
Yes,
put a vomit
why?
warning on this podcast. This episode.
Do you have one, Robert? That would just be so gross.
I mean, I can't drink vinegar straight or smell it.
Mm-mm.
It's kind of gross.
I'm not a huge fan of vinegar. I mean, small like white wine vinegar and you know like with some lumpia or something ain't bad.
Yeah. Like I love cooking with it, but even when I open the bottle, I'm just kind of like, like it's gross to me.
Yeah, and well, and on top of that though, like you get like a free game of bowling or whatever with your hotel room, and so we went to play
What
bowling.
kind of fucking hotel?
Dude, I told you it was a bar / bowling alley.
This is the most Myrtle Beach story I've ever heard. You are selling it, man. You are selling this.
It gets better.
Holy shit.
So, like 2 or 3 frames into bowling in this bowling alley, we could have sworn that every single lane in this place was warped to the left.
Good. That's great. That's perfect.
Fuck.
And I'm pretty sure they also waxed the floor in front of the actual alley because literally every time one of us went to go throw the damn ball down the alley, We slipped and fell on our asses.
Holy shit! They don't even know how to do that shit right. That's why there's a line there, right?
Yeah, well, and the and the best part was we were like the last ones in the bowling alley. They closed at 11. We started bowling at 10:40. And so all of the employees were staring at us, waiting for us to leave.
Oh, you fuckers! You're those fuckers. You deserve everything that happened to you.
Well, there were still people drinking at the bar though when we left, and they were way past close.
So let me ask you this: were you wearing regular shoes? Or do you rent shoes there?
You rent shoes there.
Even with the rental shoes, you're slipping around.
Oh hell yeah! In fact, they probably made it worse. There was no tread on those things.
Damn.
But yeah, so that pretty much sums up that experience. But it was fun. All things.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, it didn't really sound that fun.
I mean, I was there for a week, so that wasn't. That definitely what. Those were just the highlight low points.
Did you get any beach time at least? Any at all, or was it?
I
too
mean,
cold
yeah,
the
we
whole time?
walked across the beach and stuff, but like I said, it's damn cold.
Damn.
Didn't want to take that shirt off. Not in the cold.
Dude, it was 45 degrees with that wind coming off the ocean.
Ooh.
Oh, are you talking about the angle of the bowling alley or the the weather?
Seriously. They should do a thing. Listen, guys. Oh, I got a beautiful genius business case here. They should combine mini golf and bowling.
Mini bowling.
Where you have like thing, where you have to bowl, but it's like around stunts and shit. And like you gotta do like loops and like you gotta like get under the fan, under the
Oh my god, that would
windmill.
be so hard.
That would
That'd
be fun.
Crazy.
See,
But they're like giant courses.
I was thinking you just take a handful of golf balls and just like roll them down a lane and see if it could knock down any pins, like scatter shot.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like that idea too.
I think the reason why they don't do that though is because I don't think you want some drunk dude throwing a 14-pound ball around on your very complicated artsy miniature bowling course.
They'd have to be made of like the hardest steel.
Oh yeah, like you just like, oh shit, I've like completely wiped out the windmill. It's fucking across the room now.
Like, could you imagine?
Also, you just have to shoot cannonballs.
Yeah, I mean, there's already people that take out the ceilings in bowling alleys because they throw the damn ball too hard.
Like, could you imagine the liabilities that, like, the liability lawsuits you could find in a bowling alley that has loop-de-loops in like the lane?
Oh yeah,
You have to sign a waiver and shit.
Yeah, like we
That'd be
legally
really
can't
funny.
allow you to play unless you sign.
We've only had 4 broken ankles and 5 broken legs in the the past 4 days.
Jeez, I don't know. Myrtle Beach, ladies and gentlemen.
Myrtle Beach.
It's everything you thought and worse.
All right,
But to switch the topic over to video games, I want to ask you guys a question.
oh boy.
What is your biggest gaming pet peeve?
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, I have a
What's
lot.
your biggest one? What's your biggest one where like every time you see it happen, you shudder?
When someone is a super annoying backseat driver, like even when I'm not the one playing, like if I'm watching two of my friends,
a backseat gamer.
Yeah. So like one person's
funny that you say
playing,
that.
and the other one's like, no, dude, you missed that power. Oh no, but you also going left here is a little bit faster. Oh, you should have done a different combo there. It would have been a little bit better.
That's
This
never
is the
happened to
entire
me,
reason I
so-
brought up this topic because that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Really?
Backseat gamers are fun.
Well, okay. Let me. All right. Since you guys have the same thing, let me tell mine real quick, and then we'll talk about yours.
Go ahead.
So my biggest pet peeve in gaming is basically anytime I ever have to go into GameStop, and you guys know I hate that. GameStop.
The
Store. GameStop.
Yeah, the
It's
store.
the store.
Yeah, going into the store, because when you go and pick up a game, they're like, oh, did you pre-order it? Did you pre-order it? Oh, we should pre-order it. Do you want to pre-order the sequel in 4 years? Do you want to, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to pre-order? Are you going to get Game
Are you
Informer
are you an
magazine?
Elite Pro member? Are
Yeah,
you a
are you
Pro
this? Are
member?
you gonna join this? Are you this?
Do you want to subscribe to Game Informer?
So it's just such a terrible experience going in there. So anytime someone asks me to pre-order, or anytime they have like GameStop like retail exclusive pre-order items, in a game, like that, those are like the biggest pet peeves for me. Like, let me pay the money for the game. Let me get everything you made for the game. The end. It can't be that simple though.
You did remind me of another one of my pet peeves. It was just about the gaming industry in general. Why the fuck does GameSpot and GameStop have to be so close in name?
I know. Who was first? Like, come on.
I don't know who was first, but like
They need
there has
to
to
duke it
be
out.
like there has to be some legal something to just say like one of them's wrong.
Yeah.
It's like if there was Disney and Sydney, and they were both real big companies.
And they both had mice.
I'm sure Sydney's probably a company somewhere.
I mean,
would
it's a
imagine.
city. And
Well, yeah, I know it's a city, but I'm sure like someone's like, oh, I'm going to name a company Sydney. But I like Robert was saying, backseat gamers are definitely up there for me. I'll give an honorable mention to Chio cheese covered controllers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that one's a big one. But backseat gamers, dude, it's like, oh my god, I'll be sitting there playing like whatever game, and it's like, oh hey, did you miss that thing over there? You missed that thing over there. Did you see that thing? I'm like, yes, I saw it. Like I'll be like in the midst of like a dialogue thing or whatever mid game, and someone will be like, hey, there's that thing behind you. I'm like, I know.
Shut up,
you know,
yeah.
if you know you upgrade this thing, hey, this is how you beat that thing. I'm like, spoilers much? Like
I have the perfect remedy for this problem, guys. Just be like me and just have no friends.
That's if you don't have friends, you don't have backseat gamers.
There's no one to sit next to you when you want to play a video game. It's beautiful. That's my remedy.
Yeah. So here's what you do. If you have a backseat gamer friend, just get rid of the rest of your friends and that friend, and you're good. You're golden.
Yeah, just become a hermit. Yeah, live under a tree with your Switch.
I don't know. I'm just start playing all handheld games so no one can ever see the screen.
Yeah.
Speaking of Switch, I was looking for. I was under the impression that ARMS for Switch was getting a demo. Is that happening?
Yeah, March 31, test punch.
Oh,
secondary
okay.
global test punch.
Okay. So
yeah,
I
they
was
had
trying
that.
to download
They
it,
had
but
that
yeah.
before it launched too.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing it again just because like way more people have Switches now. So
it's not a demo then proper. It's like a beta.
Yeah, it's like a beta, and I remember my
I see.
experience with the beta last time was like, well, I could only get in long enough to play half of one game.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Yeah, I think I got 2 games in the first time I played it, and there was nothing after that. Yep.
Also, I thought of something for you guys. I saw a YouTube video. Shout out to Joker Productions for this hot tip, guys. So I guess Sea of Thieves is a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of games,
Came out
and
Tuesday.
I guess since it's cross-play, I guess you can play it for free with like the Xbox subscription service because you can
Xbox
get
Access.
Yeah, because you can get a 14-day free
Whatever.
trial.
Yeah.
And then just play it on PC for free for 2 weeks. Brand new game.
Are you going to do that?
Maybe. I don't see why I wouldn't.
I don't know.
I hate going through the Windows Store. I hate it so much, but it might be worth it. Just play Sea of Thieves for 14 days. I'll probably get sick of it in 14 days, to be honest with you. Very rarely do I play a game longer than 14 days.
Do you mean seasick of it? Yeah, that's the sound you make when you puke after it all. I don't know. When I've seen that game, I was kind of interested in it, but after seeing a lot more of it, it was kind of like it sounds like it's more of a game where it's the better your friends are, the better the game's gonna be. If that makes sense.
So I guess you'll wait and see of Thieves.
Stop.
Yes.
Fuck.
All right, let's stop.
We're killing Jack.
All right, let's stop.
Jack is dead in the water.
Thieving these puns out of the ether. Let's talk about games we've been playing. Jack, you want to hit us off?
Yeah, I was playing a game, guys.
No,
It's
you don't
free.
say.
It's free.
Whoa.
It's called Ironsight, and it's developed by Aria Games, and it's free. Go play it now. The beta is live, and man, it's fun. It's
Yeah?
fun.
So
yeah,
what-
it's basically if like Call of Duty was good and free, like old school Call of Duty, kind of, not the new like Black Ops 3 shit.
Like how old school? Like Modern Warfare old school? Or
like Call of Duty 4 and up. Like,
Okay.
definitely some Black Ops in there. Definitely some like Black Ops 1 and 2, and definitely some Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, it's good old time. It's fun. They really did the kind of free to play model well, where like all the upgrades and everything are based on your skill. You can't buy you can only buy like cosmetic shit. You cannot buy abilities and like buy your way into being better. So they really did, that justice. And there's a lot of people playing in the beta right now too. So it really is a really snappy kind of turnover experience from match to match. You can hop in and out of matches like super fast. And because the game is free, it has to run on a lot of computers, and it's not like, the prettiest game. Yeah, it looks like kind of like those Call of Duty games did when they came out on console. But it's so fun. It's so responsive. Looks great on the 21:9 widescreen, ultra wide. Really scales really well. It's a good game for if you have an ultra wide monitor. I can attest. And man, it's fun. And like dude, what's better than free? You know, it's they're really going for kind of like Call of Duty meets Counter-Strike in a lot of ways. I just think they're doing a lot of things good, and I think it's just the perfect, just, hey, I just want to go in and deathmatch real quick and just have a blast. And the maps are interesting. That's kind of all I have to say. I didn't play too much of it, you know, only played a couple hours here and there, but I will definitely go back into it. And like I said, they did the progression model right, so can't say enough about it, really.
I'm curious, how did you hear about this game? Because I haven't heard a thing about it until you said, like, hey, you heard of this?
There's so many fucking games that come out, right? Like every week. Like, how the hell do we hear about anything? I mean, I get my news just from, like, you know, gaming websites or whatever, or sometimes on Twitter somebody will say something. So this ultra wide channel on YouTube that doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but it's called like WAF, like stands for wide as fuck, basically.
Oh my god.
And it's all about ultra wide gameplay, right? Like what games work well, what games don't work well, etc. So the shout out to that guy. He sounds like a post-pubescent Stevie Griffin. And
Nice.
when you listen to the channel, like, he literally sounds like Stewie Griffin when he grows up, which is really fucking funny. But it's not like a voice he's putting on either. It's like totally just how he sounds. But anyways, no, it's a good channel, so I should probably shout that out. That's how I heard about this game. I was like, huh, I'll go check it out. And then sure as shit, it's just like a really good, like, if Call of Duty was free to play, you know, and didn't have a shitty progression system, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool. And you know what's even better than free? Getting paid to play games.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, you guys hear about that freaking ninja dude that made like over $1 million in one night streaming Fortnite?
Yeah.
No, what?
It's stupid. He's like one of the best, like the most watched streamers of Fortnite on Twitch.
Okay.
And he makes like 500K a night on average, I think is what he said.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, so there was a night where it was like I don't know if my numbers are right, but he gained like 500,000 new subscribers because he had Drake streaming Fortnite with him.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so is that the right numbers, Robert?
It's 500,000 a month. So little
Monthly
less crazy.
subscribers? Okay, wow.
But yeah, like that's what really blew him up though, is he got Drake, as in the rapper, to stream with him.
Yeah, holy shit. As in Yeezy. Or Drizzy, whatever his name is. No, Yeezy's somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeezy's Kanye West, bro.
Hold on.
Drizzy is Drake.
Yo, Kanye would be pretty Kanye mad if
Oh,
you heard
man.
you confusing his name
Whatevs.
with
Hey,
Drake.
I'm showing my age here. So, anyways.
Man, that
Hey,
definitely.
Kanye West is just doing his Kanye best, man. I don't know what you're saying.
Sorry, what? No.
Let's
So okay.
Yeah.
So hold on. He streamed the game. He had not Kanye. See, now you got me on this. He had Drake on there. Was that like? Is that just like a big deal just because Drake never streams? Like, what's the news here?
Well, he was already a decently big name on Twitch, but the fact that that's like a milestone in his sort of like fame status, I guess you could say.
Yeah, like the thing is, he was already like he already kind of had a following, you know, like not some random Joe is gonna get someone like Drake to even consider appearing on their Twitch stream. You know what I mean? Like he already had some pull. It's just that getting Drake actually on kind of probably helped him a little bit.
And so he's making like buku bucks now. Like he's just raking in the cash and raking in the numbers because he's the one guy that got Drake to show up for like one night.
Yeah.
Was Drake any good at Fortnite? I have not been paying attention to the story.
I have
whatsoever.
no idea. Like I didn't actually watch
it.
gameplay. I just know the dude made just stacks upon stacks upon stacks.
See, because I know a lot of like, you know, quasi quote unquote celebrities are like on there. Like Fred Durst just shut down his Twitch channel for whatever reason. Snoop Dogg is on there sometimes.
Yo, okay, actually,
You know?
can we, like, speaking of quasi celebrities, like last night at work, I helped sell a PlayStation 4 to fucking JT Barrett.
Oh, sweet!
And
You
he
met-
was like, he asked me like, so which one's better? What's the difference between the Pro and the normal PS4? And I was like, well, the Pro is like stronger, yada yada. And he was like, I just want to play Fortnite, so like, which one should I get? And I was like, just get the normal one. Save yourself $100, man.
I cannot believe how big Fortnite fucking is now. Roseanne
so
Barr
funny.
is fucking playing Fortnite. Ice-T's playing Fortnite. JT Barrett is going to Target just to buy a PlayStation Pro for Fortnite. That's crazy, dude. You didn't get his autograph?
No. I mean, like, come on. I'm not going to be that guy. Like, I'm sure he gets it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically royalty here in Columbus.
Yeah, but he's probably not going to the pros, right? Who would
I
he
have
be?
no idea.
I think like the combine's going on like nowish. I don't know.
Was he
behind
a senior? I don't even remember.
Yeah, he's done. Anyways,
okay.
I'm sure this is real exciting to everyone else listening. But
Yeah, footballs.
But yeah, Fortnite is that huge, man.
Is it making that like we don't really get stories about the numbers it's doing or anything like we did PUBG? You know what I mean? Because PUBG blew up, but it seems like Fortnite is overtaking it in popularity.
Well, it's free. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the free version of that, so it's going to do better. Is it making more money? I don't know.
I think part of it might also be that Fortnite runs pretty smoothly from what I'm seeing. You know, like PUBG.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, we still joke about how like even now sometimes it can be hard for like mid-tier systems to get up to 60 FPS, but Fortnite seems like the kind of game where like a toaster could run it.
It's certainly giving PUBG a run for its money. It's definitely stealing some of the steam, some of the spotlight now, because like you said, people are running to Target just to play that game.
Yeah.
Right.
So wow.
And like the best selling console of just this generation has it, but it doesn't have PUBG. Like PS4 has Fortnite, no PUBG.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So that's a huge demographic to be skipping out on PUBG's part.
So which one did you? I'm just curious, Robert. Which one did you tell him to get for Fortnite?
Oh, I told him just get the normal PS4. Like. If you're not looking to play a lot of games and you just want Fortnite, just get a normal PS4.
How does he not have a PlayStation?
I don't know.
He's like one of the last people in the world. Okay. Wow.
He probably has an Xbox.
Well, he came in with one of his roommates who's also on the football team, and he said like we want to get another one so we can both play it. Which so I think that makes more sense. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Funny. That's a funny story.
Yeah. Man, now it kind of makes me want to start playing Fortnite, even though I've never played it. But
Fortnite's enjoyable. I mean, you like PUBG, you'll like Fortnite.
It's free.
I know.
You really never played it on
I
PC.
got as far as like getting to the page on Epic's website to like download it, and then I realized like, oh, I have to download your launcher. I'm good. Yeah. I'm fine.
Honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Dude, I kind of asked you to download Fortnite probably like 6 months ago. So
yeah.
It's okay, but you know what? Like when I play it, to be honest with you, when I play Fortnite, I just wish I was playing PUBG instead.
Really?
Honestly, same. Like the only reason I play Fortnite is because a lot more of my other friends play Fortnite.
Yeah, and the social aspect is really strong. It's a strong
right,
goal.
and that's exactly it. But I hate Fortnite because of the stupid building thing. I don't like the building part of it at all.
Yeah, like that's why people say they like it better. And if that's not for you, then you're not going to like the game. And I don't like it better.
That's not my preference. I don't mind playing Fortnite. Like it's fun to play with my friends, but I prefer the slow and meticulous PUBG.
I prefer the graphics too in PUBG much better. I just prefer the atmosphere more. Like PUBG comes across much more as like a multiplayer horror game in a way, whereas Fortnite is way more cartoony, way more accessible, way more for the children.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of the demographic it's hitting, from what I'm understanding. Is a lot of kids are playing Fortnite.
A lot of kids, a lot of ex-quarterbacks.
Yeah, a lot of that. There you go. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
The #1 game for ex-quarterbacks.
Did you play football in high school? We have a game for you.
Boy, do we have a game for you. Still waiting on NCAA football to come back, but
never speak that again. That's the whole reason. That game is the whole reason I kept my Xbox 360, just to play that game.
Yikes.
Yeah, like that was the actual one of the few football games I actually played.
Well, do you want to tell us what other games you've been playing, Collin, then?
So I've been playing a little game called Tales of the Abyss.
Woo, that game is so good.
It's been a while, and one day I was sitting at my desk and I just had a hankering to play a Tales of game. And so I started playing Tales of Xillia 2, and that's all well and good, but you know, as you know, I went on this trip that I just talked extensively about. So I'm like, well shit. I know I have a portable Tales of game, so it was flipping a coin between Tales of Heartsar and Tales of the Abyss. And so I was like, flip a coin, Tales of the Abyss it is. And if any of you guys have played a Tales of game, you're going to be right at home. Like none of the Tales of games are like a continuation. They're not like a direct sequel. They're all their own individual thing, their own story.
Kind of like Final Fantasy.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And it's kind of confusing because when I first heard of the Tales of games, I was like, wait, are these all in the same series? I'm like, you know what I mean? Tales of the Abyss, Tales of Zestiria. It's like, I don't know if that's all the same series or not, but anyway, so you follow like the main character, and that's the cool thing about Tales of games is it's all about the narrative in Tales of games, and all of them tend to be, at least from what I've seen, pretty well paced. I don't know if you can attest to that, Robert.
I've played a few, and yeah, for the most part, they are. Sometimes it kind of gets draggy in the middle, but I feel like that applies to all JRPGs.
Is this the first in the line of Tales games?
Oh no, definitely not.
Okay.
So Tales of the Abyss was originally a PS2 game, and they ported it over to 3DS.
Okay.
And so it's still a little archaic in the way that it presents like the story and stuff compared to like later Tales of games. The not the motion capture, the animation's a little stiff.
Yeah.
And they do this thing where they, your party has like banter between each other while just going across the field or whatever. And they show like a picture of each character. What do you call that? Like a vignette of each. Yeah, the skits.
Yeah.
And in other games, they're fully voice acted. In this one, they're not. You have to read the text, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, like the main reason why I come to Tales of games though is the battle system. Battle system is a lot of fun. It feels like almost like playing a fighting game in some ways.
A little bit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So like you like run at the enemy, you mash like A or whatever, and then you throw in like a B here and there to do like your arts, which is like your super fancy, really flashy combo moves. And that just gets improved upon like with every game. They add like new things and stuff like that. The story in this one's pretty decent. It's not my favorite out of all the Tales of games. Like you play like this snobby rich character who was born into like royalty, and he's been basically sheltered his entire life, so has no idea what goes on in the outside world. So there's like this funny moment where he just like steals an apple and he starts eating it, and it was like, dude, what the fuck? You're like, you had to pay for that.
Hey.
And so basically he almost had the entire village come down and riot on him, and he ends up getting arrested. And one of your party's like, well, if he gets arrested, it might be good for him. So he just lets you get arrested.
So what you're saying is the main character of this game is bitch made.
Basically.
Okay.
Basically, yeah. So your playable character, but that's kind of like the story of the game. Like he figures out what the real world's like, and he becomes humbled because of it. And yeah, I mean it's a pretty decent character story so far, and there's a lot of twists and turns. That's what I like about these stories.
To build off of that real quick, just to say, like, one of my favorite things in life, in all of life, gentlemen, on this fine planet of ours, is when a guy from the streets like pulls himself up by his own bootstraps and like makes something of himself and becomes like, let's say, like a world championship boxer, for instance, right? And then becomes rich and successful, then has kids. Then those kids grow up soft as shit, right? But they're like, I'm gonna be a boxer like my dad too, and then get knocked the fuck out.
Oh, that last moment's your favorite part.
Yes, that's the part I love, where they just get fucking demolished by a guy in the ring who has nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because boxing, like, the better off you are in boxing, like, the kind of the worse boxer you are. You have to be like a damaged soul, I think, in some capacity to be good at boxing.
You have to be a damaged soul.
Pretty much. You got to be
boxing.
like hungry as fuck. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
You know, so I just love watching those bitch made ass motherfuckers get knocked out. I'm sorry. Okay, back to JRPGs.
So that's what you can do. You can buy the game, keep getting game overs, and be like, yes, I can experience this whenever I want.
I'm already planning my weekend around this. No, just kidding.
No, it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of talking in circles about it now, but like it's just like it's a solid, like a really fun battle system. A solid story. I always actually have been saying that I would love to see a Naruto game with this battle system because I feel like it would fit super well.
Yeah,
how's that 3DS graphics, the resolution and all that?
The resolution, okay, actually, that's a point that I wanted to speak on that I forgot. But yeah, it actually is really jaggy. I don't know what it is about this game, but it feels like it runs at a little bit of a lower res than some other like 3DS games, which is crazy because the screen's already 240p, man. Like, how much more do you want to go?
Fuck. It's not like PS2's that old tech.
Yeah, well, I think it's because it's a PS2 port, and some of it is like it's a little too much for the 3DS to handle, so they had to kind of like dial it back a little bit. Because actually, what I do know is I picked up Dragon Quest VIII as well, and I turned it on just to check it out for a little bit. There's no 3D in it at all.
Good.
In order to improve performance of the game, and it actually looks marginally better than Tales of the Abyss because of it.
That's good to hear, man. One thing we should touch upon, though, is that we were gone last week, right? And Nintendo had that Nintendo Direct. And guys, I am the first one to say that I was wrong about that. They're releasing games into 2019. Like,
yeah.
they've announced games to be coming out next year.
Oh, for the 3D? Yep. For the 3DS.
Like, what the fuck? That's surprising, though.
It's just
me.
one. The Inside Bowser story or whatever.
Well, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the what about that? What the hell was the name? Danger Dylan or whatever. The armadillo.
I think that's 2018. Also, who gives a shit about that game?
Right, but it's just
I mean,
like
look
they're
kinda
still
neat.
supporting it. You know, Nintendo still they're not abandoning it like I thought they would. I thought they'd been running for the hills when the Switch came out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, going back, even back and forth between my Vita and my 3DS. I'm really starting to feel the resolution on the 3DS a little bit.
Yeah.
Going like, and then of course, then going from that to like my Switch, it's like Jesus, man, like this is, it's a world of difference. But you know, it doesn't kill me. I still like playing games on my 3DS, and playing JRPGs like where it's not too action heavy isn't too bad. But yeah, the Tales of series, if you haven't gotten into it yet, for sure check it out. Solid story, solid gameplay.
Yeah, so I mean, you've been talking a lot about playing games mobilely. Have you checked in on any of that Battlegrounds mobile?
The Players Unknowns Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
Brendan Green himself, he's mobile now.
I want to see, I want to see him change it to like Brennan Green, so BG's like I don't even know what that'd be.
BG's BG
is BG
BG's
BG's BG. No, and just everyone's like, who the fuck's Brennan Green?
He's player unknown.
Did I tell you guys about like the cosplayer that dressed up as a character from PUBG and like ran into Brennan Green himself at a con and he had no clue. Yeah, no clue who the hell he was.
Yeah, he told us. I don't know if it was on the show, but I
don't remember if it was. But yeah. Anyway, I played PUBG on mobile. Runs surprisingly well. I was playing it on a Galaxy S7 Edge, and I played it on medium settings. The frame rate was sometimes pretty kind of inconsistent, but it ran a lot better than I thought it would. I was actually surprised that I was dropping into the island on a phone.
PCs have problems running that game still.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how in the hell did they get this thing to run on a mobile phone? Which I know they had Tencent publishing it, and then they had some other company I think that ported it over, Lightspeed or something.
Yikes! Must have used some magic.
Yeah. But the first match I dropped into solo, chicken dinner.
Nice.
Chicken,
your first one and only
motherfucking
You know
dinner.
what that's like now.
Yes.
You tasted the chicken.
It was bittersweet because I started seeing. So I was going through social media, and I started noticing like I feel like a lot of people were posting themselves getting chicken dinners, and I was like, this is like I don't know if it's just coincidence or not.
Oh shit!
And,
what if every game is like you're up against actually a bunch of AI?
But yeah, bots.
So that's the thing. That's what happened.
What?
It's the truth.
That's
yeah,
real?
So there's a bunch of stories rolling out. Look, if you Google it right now, Kotaku, Forbes, PUBG Mobile players are pretty sure the game is full of bots. It seems like there might be bots in PUBG Mobile.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm sorry.
Because the internet it just like doesn't work reliably enough to have all those people in.
Yeah, I guess so.
believe it.
And Cult of Mac, you're winning PUBG Mobile because you're playing against bots. Like, and so like it's totally burst in my bubble. And like like as soon as I saw, I was like, I knew it was too good to be true because
Dude,
if I was,
sorry,
it felt too easy. It felt too easy.
Dude, that's so fucked up that they just basically slammed your dick in the fridge door, man. Like shit.
Do you find yourself in that situation more often than you'd care to admit, Jack?
I mean, hey, man, getting old is weird. That's all I can say.
Instructions not clear. Got dick stuck in ceiling fan.
Wow.
Damn it,
So
that's so
bots.
yeah. So and you felt like you just said yourself, it felt weird.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, and then I saw that and I was just like, fuck. Like, it was
Are
just,
you speaking R2D2 language right now?
Yeah, I am. I was so upset that I just went full blown R2D2.
Damn.
And I was just broken. It deflated me.
Hey, man, you tasted that chicken. No one can take that away from you.
Yeah, well, except for Brendan Green.
Right.
He can revoke your chicken dinner license.
Damn it.
Man, that's so weird, though, because I'm pretty sure the Fortnite one, as far as I know, is actual for real human players, like for mobile, Fortnite mobile.
Right. Well, I wouldn't know because it's only out on iOS. The hell, Epic.
No.
Rip. I've actually been playing a mobile game, too, and I can't believe that this is a mobile game I'm actually for real playing. And, like, I don't know. Have you guys played The Sims before?
Oh, I heard about The Sims Mobile.
Yeah.
I know The Sims.
Yeah, it came out like 5 days ago. And it's good? Question mark? I don't know.
You're not sure?
Yeah, I mean, like, when I think about it logically and like approach it as like a review of it, it's not great. It's kind of boring and simple, and it's not complex. But then I think, I mean, isn't that The Sims though? Right? Like, that's kind of what The Sims are.
What possessed you now at this time
To download it?
Yeah, on
I mean,
mobile.
I saw it like, hey, this game just came out. And I'm like, oh man, I remember The Sims. Those games were fun.
Oh, it's a newer release.
Yeah, it's a brand new thing. Came out 5 days ago.
Shoshanka Durbin.
And basically,
Tyler Durbin.
the way it works is just, you know, you make a sim and you tell them like, hey, go work at the coffee shop. And then it takes a real world hour for them to finish
Until you
working
pay
there.
money.
Right. Well, or you can like use up his stamina and, you know, like do tasks inside, like tap on different things and tell him to do this to speed up the process. And you can make him finish an hour in like 5 minutes or something. But then when you run out of stamina, then you're stuck with just waiting. And if you
Then you can pay more money.
Well, yeah, the money thing, the only thing I've noticed it so far is like there's some furniture and outfits that are locked behind the premium currency, which you do earn by like finishing, you know, like quests like build another room in your house or, you know, buy this furniture set or whatever. But it's such a slow accruement where it's like, yeah, I can see someone who's very impatient just immediately drop like $50 on this game to get all that premium dosh. I think they call it Sim Cash. And then,
That's vile.
Yeah, off to the side, you also get simoleons, which you also use to buy like furniture or clothes, whatever. And then there's like this other weird currency system where like you have to do certain kinds of events to get certain kinds of tickets that are used to buy certain kinds of furniture and whatever. And I'm just like, you're making this more complicated than actual Sims games just for the sake of putting in microtransactions.
One less game to download.
Right, exactly. So
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, speaking of microtransactions, I met an actual whale, like microtransaction whale. You ever heard that term?
Yeah.
I spoke to Shamu.
Yeah, exactly. Spoke to shampoo.
Myrtle
Beach.
You spoke
the
to your
shampoo of
shampoo.
microtransactions. Listen, this person spent $500 on in-game transactions, in-game currency, Call of Duty, World War II.
Why?
Unreal.
To level their character, pay to win.
I haven't spent $500, but I've spent more than I care to admit on Overwatch. That's for sure.
Yeah, but you were also like in it.
Yeah.
And you were like playing it for like an equivalent amount of hours for how much you paid.
Oh, no, I got
yeah,
my money's worth. Yeah, I'm sure he did too.
Oh yeah, like I know someone that's spent like thousands of dollars on League of Legends,
Yeesh,
like skins, runes, all that shit.
But they've also
Before we
probably
get
spent thousands of hours in the game.
Before we get on tangent, you were in the middle of saying something, Robert. You were like,
Yeah, you were in
yeah.
the middle of talking Sims. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
so
go
like
back
the
to
thing
that.
is, even though we've been saying like, yeah, it's full of microtransactions, I'm still coming back to play it, and I can't really explain why. I don't know. I mean, it just ticks that little check mark in my brain of like, I'm making a small amount of progress on something that doesn't matter.
so you want your Sims to succeed. You're not playing it sadistically. You want them to fail.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the kind of Sims you can play sadistically. They can't die. Although playing this mobile game has made me want to reinstall all of the Sims things that I have just to kill some Sims.
I feel like City Skylines would be good on mobile.
I'd buy that.
I would.
Is that not a thing? I feel there's got to be a game like that though on mobile.
Oh,
and like Planet
probably.
Coaster, like those games. Yeah, there's there's like some third party, Asian ripoff. You know it.
Absolutely.
Right.
100%. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like at the end of the day, I don't know if I'd recommend The Sims Mobile, but I'm still playing it. So take that for whatever it's worth.
I know what it's like. Yeah, I've played some games where I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah, and it doesn't even take up much time. It takes like 10 minutes out of my day to play it. And I still do. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. People spent hours playing Clash of Clans years back. When I was in high school, that's all people would do when I was in music class or choir or whatever. Sit there and play Clash of Clans. And I'm like, man, it must be great to like do like 2 things and then wait there for days for your shit to reload.
Speaking of like predatory like game design, like those are the worst. Those are worse than RPGs really like on PC. Like I think mobile games are all about getting people addicted,
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the entire mobile market. That's where
Yeah.
all of this started, and then AAA producers and developers were like, "Hey, that looks pretty good. Let's
People are
put
spending lots of money on
yeah,
that.
let's put
all-
that in some of our big games."
Let's go back to flip phones, guys. I can see it now.
Well, you know a
Just
big
get off the grid.
you know a big AAA game that's coming out soon that doesn't have microtransactions, as far as I know, and it looks really great for it. Yakuza 6, Song of Life.
Yeah.
Yo, so I downloaded the demo of it today, and I played like 2 hours of it. Oh my, like, dude.
It's fucking
Colin,
good. It's
Colin, I
fucking good.
fucking get it now.
Yeah. Yeah, you do, don't you? You've been bitten by the bug.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It is.
And man, so I don't know. It's coming out April 17, and I don't know if I can wait that long because holy crap, it's so good.
Does it take place in modern times?
Yeah, 2016,
Well,
2016.
yeah, modern enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the demo, they give you like a thing that you can scroll through if you want to read through the synopses of Yakuza 1 through 5. Which, by the way, I didn't realize those games got that deep. Like, but they
Dude,
get
I am
dark.
telling you, the story is 10 out
Story's
of 10.
pretty good. Yeah.
Fucking great.
Did you get the whole game for free?
No, I didn't. They put the demo back up after they
Yeah.
fixed whatever that issue was.
Yeah.
And my experience with the demo was boot it up, do a fight, watch 30 actual for real minutes of cutscenes setting up
Yep.
the story and like recapping a little bit of what happened at the end of 5, and then going to the streets of Tokyo to do karaoke and like hit batting range. Like baseball. It's
Oh man.
you know, it's like super serious and dark, and you know, like the voice actor for Kiryu is very like, oh my mo shinde, like he's very, you know, dark and
Kiryu.
yeah, he's very serious. Great, he fits the role perfectly. But then hearing him sing backup vocals in a karaoke bar to a pop idol song is very humbling and amazing.
Dude, this is why I'm so excited to finally one day get into Yakuza 0, because it's basically the Liberty City stories, right, of the Yakuza world. It takes place in the 80s. It's all 80s now. It's awesome.
Yakuza 0 is it's easily, it's one of my favorite games of all time now, for sure. Like,
I can see
it's
it.
up there.
I can see it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. Like, I don't know if I want to touch 6 yet, because like I do have 6 pre-ordered, but Yakuza Kiwami 2 is coming out in August.
Yep.
So
Dude.
it's like I want to play through that, then I can play through 3, 4, and 5 on PS3.
They brought
and then
this
get
up.
to 6.
You seriously
brought
want to play through all the Yakuza games before you get to 6?
That's a lot.
Why not?
All right, yeah, I guess.
So-
I
I
mean,
mean,
quit your
listen,
job,
they don't take that long to play if you mainline them.
I guess, but like, what's the fun in that?
Story.
Yeah.
Hey man, when you need it, you need. He's addicted. So
Yeah,
listen,
that's
guys,
fair.
I want to tell you, like they were talking about this on the Giant Bombcast. I think it was last week, but I mean, we live in a time now, 2018, where the biggest video games in the world are Dragon Ball, Yakuza, and Monster Hunter. What the fuck?
It's a great
That's
time to be
so
a fucking gamer.
Crazy.
I'm okay
If
with
you know-
I'm
that.
happy with that.
I
I'm
know,
very
but if you just
happy.
follow like the history of video games, like if you had told me this like 10 years ago, I would have slapped you in the fucking face. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, dude.
and-
Go
well,
ahead.
I wouldn't say Dragon Ball FighterZ is like one of the biggest games right now. It definitely doesn't rival Monster Hunter World in any way.
It's
It was,
easily the
it
biggest.
was the biggest
it's got to be.
game.
Yeah.
It was the biggest game of that time of, you know, what late January.
Yeah, it came
Yeah,
out the
it was
same
the
day as
biggest
Monhun.
game. Yeah, and it's definitely the biggest Dragon Ball Z game, and it's definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest, fighting game of the year.
For
It's
now, yeah.
way outperformed, you know, what I thought it would do for sure. Especially Monster Hunter now being the highest selling Capcom game of all time. Also, like a game that's so like esoteric, right, and so like figure it out your damn self. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
hold your hand at all. Like wow, like
Take that, Street Fighter.
It's just so crazy to think that these 3 games are kind of like ruling the roost right now. You know,
Yeah.
if you think about, you know, the last couple decades in the industry, these were always very, very niche titles.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're mainstream. It's awesome. I don't
Hell
know.
yeah,
Is it
dude.
awesome? Question mark. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it is.
I think it's great. It's funny, yeah, because Japanese developers are ruling the world right now.
Yeah,
You know?
Nintendo. You're totally
Sega.
right, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's a Japanese takeover, which is awesome. We haven't really seen this since the PlayStation 1 question mark. Like
There was a while there. Like I don't know if it was like 6-7 years ago or like nothing was coming out of Japan. Like everything was like Western developed or European developed. And I don't know. I'm glad to see this like resurgence though. You know,
Yeah.
because I love Japanese game. I mean, that's Japanese developers are the people that got me to fall in love with video games, and so it's great to see that coming back. So,
I mean, while we're talking about it, consider that tomorrow, Friday, Ni no Kuni 2, another big Japanese game's coming out.
Oh, good lord, my wallet hurts.
and
Yeah.
dude,
So
are
bad.
the reviews still like awesome?
The reviews
Oh,
are still
yeah.
very good for it.
they're
It makes me
stellar.
want it, but I don't know if I should.
Did you
And-
guy play Ni no Kuni 1?
I
know,
I
I
I
tried.
have it. It's sitting on my shelf right now, and I haven't beaten it.
I got like 10 hours in, then I dropped.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Was the grind what got you out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I do that a lot with some JRPGs where, like, if I'm not feeling it, I can force myself only so much, you know?
So you felt like you were forcing yourself for the majority of that time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And, like, what I'm curious to see is next week we have Far Cry 5, which is a very big Western developed release. And, I mean, we just talked about how, like, a lot of Japanese games are kind of dominating the year. I'm curious to see how a Western game is going to fare. Because it's of equivalent magnitude, I would say, you know, as, like,
Right.
Monster Hunter World. Or, like, what will be Yakuza 6 next month.
Dude, that's 3 big releases coming out in the next week that I have to buy. Fuck.
You know,
Wait, what's the
dude,
third?
that
A Way Out Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't call it a big release, though. It's not AAA.
No,
Oh, Way
you don't
Out.
think so?
Fuck the
No.
Oscars edition.
No,
Dude.
that's like indie AAA.
All right, I'll give you it's not AAA, but I'll say it could be the most fun game of those 3 games. It
Oh.
totally could be.
Yeah, I'm getting that one hands down.
Because my worry since you brought it up, my worry for Far Cry 5 is that, what did I say? I've said this for, excuse me, I've said this for literally years, that Far Cry 4 is the last time they can make that game. Because they just remade 3, like a less good version of 3 in a lot of ways. And if they're just remaking that and rehashing it, and it's just like in America now, like, that's going to be fucking boring as shit, you know? They need
Ubisoft.
to do something like radical here.
And I mean, consider the fact that we're seeing reviews of Ni no Kuni like today, earlier this week, the week of release when it comes out on a Friday. And we haven't seen reviews of Far Cry 5 yet. And we're 6 days away from release.
Right.
So
Right.
apparently they're not as ballsy, maybe that's the word, as the Ni no Kuni people, and they're definitely not as ballsy as Sega, who has already lifted the embargo on Yakuza 6 reviews.
I mean, they basically gave away the game for free like a month early.
I mean, they did
on
that,
accident.
but also, like, in terms of, controlling the media or how much a developer can do that, they've just said, like, a month prior to the game's release, go ahead, publish your reviews. We know it's good. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Sega's confidence in the Yakuza series is fucking awesome. And I'm glad they're pushing it so hard. I mean, the game was, to be fair though, like review-wise, the game has been out in Japan for 2 years.
September
a year or two.
September 2017, I thought it came out last.
Oh, okay. Was it that? Okay, maybe it was that late.
Maybe.
No, I was thinking of Yakuza 0 was out forever in Japan before it got ported over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, it was already out, so a lot of people already had an idea that it was a good game. But yeah, also shout out to GameSpot. They did the history of Yakuza on their channel a while back. Definitely a video worth watching.
Very nice.
So real quick, I just looked this up. So Ni no Kuni is comfortably sitting at an 85 on Metacritic right now, which makes it one of the highest rated games of the year. It's got 53 reviews already submitted, and the game's not even out yet, and 48 of those are positive. So like, it's a pretty safe bet. This is a quality game.
Wow. I have a question for you guys.
The answer to it is 45.
45. Anyway, it just occurred to me. There really isn't that many like annual releases coming out of Japan in terms of games.
Like, yeah, there's no yearly Call of Duty.
Right. Does Japan really have that? If you think about, I mean, maybe Monster Hunter. But that's the only possibility I could think of.
Well, you're talking about
Yokai-
all the Dragon Ball games that were coming out.
Well, that's
Yokai Watch?
true. But those aren't real. It's not like the same. It's not like, oh yeah, Yokai Watch maybe. Well, there's only 2 of them, isn't there?
There's a third
think
one.
so.
There's a
out in
third one?
Japan. And the thing with Dragon Ball is that it's not like there's this one Dragon Ball game that's iterated on. Is that there are
Right.
50 billion different like there's Dragon Ball
Right.
trading card games, Dragon Ball fighting games, adventure games.
Pokemon is the closest thing I think you're thinking of. Pokemon
Yeah,
is yearly.
probably Pokemon. But in terms of like over here though, we have Call of Duty, all EA Sports games. You know, not really Battlefield, but close to it. Assassin's Creed.
basically.
Yeah, up
Like-
until recently.
Right. I don't know what's some other big ones. Far Cry. I mean, Far Cry is like
I would
we
say
get a
Far
whole
Cry's
lot
every
of
like
them.
3 years. Far Cry's like every 3 years.
I don't know. Well, and also to the point of like it's a lot of reiterations of basically the same thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. You do get that in Japan too, but
Yeah,
They
I
don't
mean,
have Japan
Japanese
to do that.
Yeah, Japanese developers do that too. I mean, like
yeah, they do.
Final
do.
Fantasy, for example. Like if you played
true.
one, like there's differences in them, but for the most part, if you played a couple, you played all of them in terms of gameplay.
That's true. I just don't think the epidemic of annual releases is nearly as bad in Japan. At least I would like to think. Don't know how true that is though, but I think I guess what my point was with that was maybe that's I think why people over here turning to Japanese games more, maybe partially, is because like even the more casual market is getting tired of playing the same annual releases over and over.
I mean, listen though, one Japanese kind of game I'm sick of are all these Musou games coming out, like the Zelda ones.
Well, that's
and
true.
fucking,
Dynasty Warriors apparently was awful.
Like, fuck.
Yeah.
But dude, it's sold like crazy. People get buying it, and I knew that
Dynasty
game was
Warriors
shit.
9?
Like back in the day, even like
18
years ago, Dynasty Warriors games have been coming out for a grip.
I mean,
It's like
I'm
sick of them.
we're at up to 9. That means at least 8 of them have sold enough to warrant a sequel.
So people are buying these
Right.
Musou games. They had that Hyrule Warriors come out on on 3DS and on Wii.
It's coming to Switch
Wii
soon.
U, and it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
and I don't play those.
I didn't really
Warriors.
like Hyrule Warriors. Yeah.
There's also Fire Emblem Warriors came out
Apparently
last
that one was
October.
decent because they added in some more RPG elements to it.
Yeah, after I've heard that, I've kind of been considering getting it if it goes on sale, but also it's like a first-party Nintendo game, so like it's never going to go on sale.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of
I hate that. I hate
that's
that
the
so
nature
much.
of Nintendo.
That's why I haven't gotten Mario Kart 8 yet Deluxe yet, because I have the Wii U version with all the DLC, and I can't justify spending another $60 just to get a battle mode.
Dude, I did that to Mario Kart and I did that to Zelda. I bought both those games twice. I feel
do
like
you-
such a dweeb.
But do you regret it?
No, because I'd rather play it on Switch.
Exactly.
I'd rather it like to me. It's like, okay, fuck it. I plunked down the money.
Yeah.
I'm money rich and time poor, so I don't have time to play any games, but I can buy them. So I'm just like, it was painful though. I'm gonna say it was not like
Right.
carefree. Did you guys hear? Speaking of like as avid Switch players, have you guys heard of this cable, the M cable?
Is it a
you know about
Metroid
this?
thing?
Listen to this. So it's this is super weird. So it's an HDMI cable with its own power cable. The cable plugs into a USB power source because what the cable itself does is it takes the anti-aliasing load off of whatever graphics like are being rendered, and it like performs the anti-aliasing function within the cable itself. There's like a microchip in it.
That's pretty slick.
So where it really shines, if you have 4K TV and if you have like a PlayStation Pro and all this stuff, like it's not going to do shit for you, unfortunately. But where it will really shine is when you're feeding it a true 1080p signal. So this is like the perfect cable for someone, let's say like you and I, Collin, who are playing Switches that only go up to 1080p, but are playing on 4K TVs. This is like the cable to get. And so it'll add like free anti-aliasing that doesn't affect the frame rate or anything. Right, but you just need to be able to plug it into a USB port as well. You have to plug in the cable, which is like the weirdest shit. But it's not cheap either. It's like over $100.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that sounds expensive.
But it's one of the only ways to if you want to have control over your console graphics, right? Like and it works pretty well. I saw a really good demo. Eurogamer, their YouTube channel, man. Props to them again. I watch them like weekly now. But
Nice.
they're the ones that kind of exposed me to that. So just, hot tip out there. If you feel like spending extra money and want to get the best graphics out of your Switch possible on 4K TV, M cable. Not
There you
sponsored message.
But
Totally not
sponsor
sponsored.
Yeah,
just
please
sponsor
sponsor
us. You can email us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. So let's talk about a little bit of news, shall we? So first thing to hit us off here, HTC, their Vive Pro. I don't know if you guys remember that old thing, but they've finally,
Hit the sell, HTC.
Yeah. They finally announced, 1, a price point, and 2, kind of beginning release date when they're going to start rolling out shipping these pre-orders. And pre-orders are open right now. So finish listening to this podcast and then go ahead and pre-order HTC Vive Pros if you're looking for it. But I also hope you have a lot of cheddar because it's going to be $800 for just the headset,
Just the new thing.
just the Pro.
Fuck.
No light
yeah.
boxes, no Vive controllers, nothing else. Just
No
the headset.
no wireless add-on component.
Nope.
Nothing.
That's going to
Nope,
be another. What is that? $299, I believe.
Oy.
Holy shit! Just for the wireless add-on?
Really?
Damn.
I could be wrong on that one.
Okay. But still, it's going to be expensive. And this is really a bad time for me. I was waiting for this headset to come out to buy the Vive. I don't have the previous iteration. And it's a really bad time for anyone to jump in for the first time. If you have the old headset set up and you want to upgrade and spend $800, then there you go. Now's the time to do it. But for me, like, I have to wait till they put out like a bundle, right? Which it's looking like now, right? It's going to be about $1,000. You can probably ascertain if the headset alone is $800, then the whole thing is going to be at least $200, I would guess. Extra, right? So I'm gonna have to wait now. I don't know, man. $1,000. I don't know if VR is that worth it. That lightsaber rhythm game though does look pretty sweet, but $1,000 sweet. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the idea for this, I think, is that if you'd already invested in HTC and you already have everything else, it's the cheapest option for you technically, right? Because you already have everything. You just need to replace the headset.
Yeah, kind of the news now is that the original Vive, the best version of VR, is now only $500. They reduced the price. That's kind of the exciting part about this.
Yeah, and that I believe that price includes all the
everything.
Like everything. Yeah.
Yeah. They reduced the price by $300.
Well, it's kind of exciting though, like from a developer standpoint, that they're finally getting stronger headset hardware.
Yeah.
To be able to do more with it, especially with wireless experiences. But the thing is, this thing is very much still an enthusiast level.
Oh yeah, higher resolution though, and they're OLED screens now. It's integrated headset now, so that's not extra wires you have to worry about. It's a more comfortable headset strap. I've heard the thing is just balanced much better overall. I hope you like navy blue because the whole thing's navy blue for some weird reason, and it looks dumb. Like it doesn't look good,
looks
but
dumb.
I mean,
but
it's
who
not like you're
cares?
gonna be walking around the street with it on.
I think it does have 2 cameras in the front now, which is what makes it look kind of like cross-eyed, right?
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that'll
it helps
be
with
cool.
depth perception.
Yeah, so there's a lot to be excited about here. I'm just gotta wait. I'm not gonna buy. If you're going from 0 to this now and you want to go pro, you have to spend, what is the math there? $1,300.
Yeah, 12 or so hundred.
And you have an extra headset that you're not going to want to use. Like, it's just not the time for me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we can all put our pennies together. Jack, we can ship it out to you, and you can have it every other week.
Yeah. Who pays for shipping though?
I don't know who's paying child support.
Nose goes, not it.
Nose goes.
And
Jack, you have the most money. You have a real man's job. So
Hey, don't put that out there publicly.
yeah, Jack's poor. He doesn't have money.
It's tax season, man. What the fuck's wrong with you?
He's broadcasting to us live from a cardboard box outside of an IKEA.
It's so cold.
And if you pre-order the Vive now, you could get it as early as sometime after April 5th. That's when they're going to start shipping them out. And it's probably going to be like a first come, first serve kind of a deal. So you probably get to be patient and rich if you want a pro. Oh boy. The Witcher. Geralt, the White Wolf.
The Witcher.
He's a good fighter, and because of that, he's fought his way to get into Soulcalibur VI 6.
his soul still burns.
I am so psyched. I am serious. I mean that unironically. I am pumped about this. Like Soulcalibur 6. Okay, it's not looking as good as I had hoped. It looks just kind of like, I don't know. I don't see it.
Soulcalibur 5?
Yeah, I don't see it. No. I don't see it being like the leap that Tekken 7 was, sadly, which is what I was hoping for. But I am going to play it. Absolutely. It's a game I'm going to buy. I'm going to have fun with it. And the fact they're really putting some effort into putting Geralt in there, I think that's really cool. And it made me think, like, fuck, if you like think about the characters in The Witcher, there should just be a Witcher fighting game. Kind of like what Persona did. Persona 4, right?
I could
There
kind
should
of see
totally
that.
be a Witcher fighting game. There's so many awesome villains and characters in that. Like, totally could be done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the video of like them showing off Geralt fighting in the game. I believe all that footage was in engine, and it looks pretty cool. Like the way they use his signs seems like it's interesting and like an actually effective. Like, oh, that's totally how I'd imagine Geralt if he were in a fighting game.
It was super cool. I was hyped for it. I'm really excited. And that right there sold the game to me. And apparently, there's like in canon, like there's a reason why he's in the Soulcalibur world. his soul still burns.
Kind of like Akuma and fucking Tekken 7.
Tekken, yeah, exactly. There's some canonical rationale there.
Yeah, somehow Karamorian gets sucked into the Soulcalibur universe or something.
Yeah, because there's going to be a Karamorian level too for fighting stages in the game, which is cool,
dude. Yeah,
so it's not just Geralt, but also a little bit of his universe, which is
who
super
even
cool.
would consider that a possibility. That's such a cool idea, I think.
Yeah, and they got the original voice actor to join too, which also to me was a little bit weird, with like hearing him voice act it, because he gets like very cocky, like outwardly cocky in the game, because he's like, you think you can beat me, and I don't know, in The Witcher, like, he was cocky, but he was very, like, reserved about it. It's like, you don't want to pick a fight with a Witcher, that kind of thing.
There's like a quiet sadness to his character in the game. So, yeah, it is a little dissonant, from what the Geralt de la Rivia that I'm used to. But,
the what?
The Geralt of the Rivia.
Yeah.
Geralt from the river.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I am sold. This, like, sold me on this game. Yes, day one.
For sure.
Please.
On Tuesday this week, Nintendo had a big old Nindy spotlight to show off a couple indie games that are coming to the Switch. First off, the presentation was really so fellow kids. It kind of hurt. It was like two guys who were like the head of...
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, they were like the head of indie outreach, and like, God bless them, they tried. They really did, but like, woof. Could have been presented a little...
I think that's like a false, like... message put out there, like, because it's Nindies, kids like Nindies. You know what I mean? Like, I actually think adults play more indies than...
I guess it wasn't fellow kidsy, but it was just like, it felt really, really staged. Where I guess, I don't know, I'm used to like the Japanese, like with the straight up Japanese Nintendo Directs. It's very formal, kind of, and like straight up presentational. I think they thrive more in that setting. Whereas here, it kind of felt like they were pretending to be Reggie without Reggie's charm. And
Nintendo has a very weird brand sometimes.
Oh yeah,
very bizarre.
They should have got Steve Buscemi to rep it.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, hello kids.
So they opened up by saying Mark of the Ninja's coming to Switch. I don't know if you guys played that game in the past, but that's pretty good Clay game. That's a really fun game. There's a fighting game coming called Fantasy Strike, which kind of looks neat. But I think it's going to be an indie title they're going to help push for their like paid online service that's coming later this year. Like, they're going to use that as kind of a marketing tool. Like, hey, you can only play this game online if you buy our online system. Let's see. Other things that kind of stood out to me. There's this game called Pool Panic. That's Adult Swim is kind of part of it. And you play a cue ball and you try to get all the other balls in the holes. But instead of like in a pool table, it's like in a forest or like on a city street. And like, dude, I don't know. Kind of looks cool.
When you told me Adult Swim was coming out with a game called Pool Panic, for some reason, I just thought like someone pooped or pissed in a pool and you had to like get away from it.
Oh my God.
That's what I was thinking in my head. Like, oh, damn.
That's very Adult Swim.
Yeah. That's totally the game I was expecting. Yeah. Okay. Different kind of pool.
Let's see. Bomb Chicken looks like Shovel Knight, but you play a chicken who lays bombs. I don't know. It seems very puzzle platformy in a way. Did you guys ever play
enough? If you bomb it enough, you just get attacked by 100 different chickens from off screen.
Absolutely. Did you guys ever play Luminous on the DS?
Is that how you say that?
Yeah, it's Luminous.
I've heard Lumines. I've heard a bunch of different ways to
it's Luminous.
Excuse me?
Yo, dude, you're looking at me weird. What's the name of that chick on IGN? That Australian chick?
Alana Pierce?
Charlanazard?
Yeah, Alana Pierce. Yeah, she was just at South by the way. Yeah, she said Lumines, dude. It's on the internet.
Whoops.
She calls it Lumine.
It's Luminous.
We still love you, Alana.
I was called a Luminous, not Luminous, but Luminous. That's how I pronounced it. How did you pronounce it, Collin?
Luminous.
Okay. We're on the same page here.
So the remastered version is coming to Switch. So that's pretty neat if you're hankering to play that game.
But dude, that game's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard. That's what limits my fun with it. I can only get to like level 7 or 8.
Reigns and Reigns Her Majesty. I don't know if you guys ever played those games. They're coming to Switch as well in like one like big package. It's basically you play a king and you have to survive. Like you have to make decisions that decide whether your kingdom survives or not. And it's like a really silly, wacky game. Like I don't know. I guess it's something that's better explained by like seeing a video of it. But it probably is going to be no more than $10 on the Switch, if I had to guess.
$10 holla.
Yep. Lightfall is this really cool looking platformer that looks like perfect for speedruns. because your character makes platforms as you platform. So you're basically always making a leap of faith and then calculating when you should make a platform to land on as you jump.
Interesting. I'll have to see what that looks like. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat. West of Loathing is coming, which was kind of big. The Messenger. Jack, you might like this game. You play as a ninja who's trying to get a message to someone, and it's like a very important message. And you go through these portals that change the game from 8-bit to 16-bit back to 8-bit.
Fun.
What?
Yeah, it's like a side-scrolling platformer kind of a thing.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, there was an RPG that came out not that long ago where it's like you start at level 1 and like when you got to like level 5, like it was like a Nintendo, like an Atari game, and then when you got to like level 5 character, like the whole game turned into like a Nintendo game. Then it went to Super Nintendo. Then like
Evo
it was
Land.
like, oh yeah, you know,
that's what it was. Yep.
Evo Land's
that's
fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. And their big final reveal is Banner Saga 3, that game that no one's asking for. Is coming out this summer on the Switch, and they're also going to be porting Banner Saga 1 and 2 to the Switch, quote, very soon.
Will it be like sold as a package?
I don't know.
The Banner package.
But it's a package you shouldn't buy.
It's the Banner Saga.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, it's nothing like super exciting. You know, I mean, it's hard to compare to like AAA first-party Nintendo titles. But, I mean, it's good that they're at least showing kind of respect for the fact that, hey, like, we want indie games on our platform.
Yeah. This is a sign of a healthy, healthy market, a healthy ecosystem for this console. And I think, wasn't it just today or was it yesterday maybe, where it got announced as the most successful video game console in North American history, given the time frame it's been out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the fastest selling console of all time.
That's fucking
indie-
crazy, dude.
Indie titles are fucking blowing up on the Switch. Like, if you're an indie dev,
yeah,
you want your
100%.
game on the Switch. It's
come
doing
on,
so much better.
Celeste. Just go on sale. It's
Yeah.
$20.
Like,
I'm waiting for it to drop.
I mean, compared to putting your game on Steam now, like Steam used to be the king only because there was no other competitor, but now like the Switch is kind of rising up to be a really great indie machine.
It is.
And
Without a D-pad, no less.
Yeah. And I mean, on top of that, like Ark Survival Evolved just announced, hey, we're making a Switch port.
Yeah, dude.
Which I don't think anyone asked for that game either. But
Isn't that game still in early access?
No, it's finally released and it's still buggy as hell.
Like a year ago, I think it released actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, dude, is forgive me, is Fortnite on Switch?
No.
So that'll be a day. And
No.
PUBG, is coming to Switch. I'll
Dude, no.
guarantee
As
you
soon
right
as
now.
battle royale games come to Switch, the internet's gonna explode.
Too bad their multiplayer online is shite.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But it will happen. It's not a matter of when or if, it's when.
Exactly.
Dude, the Switch, I mean, it's still, got a ways to go before anyone talks about it like overpassing PS4, but it's one of those like add-ons. It's so cheap. It's $300. I mean, I know $300 is a lot of money, but comparable to the competition, it's relatively inexpensive. So I really feel like Switch is like the ultimate companion to like your main console in a way,
100%. It's such a good little system. We always praise it because it's hard to say that it's bad.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with bad things to say about that thing.
I need to play on my Switch a little bit more. I played a little bit more Zelda, playing some of the DLC, but I don't know. I haven't really had any motivation to play anything else on my Switch yet.
I get that.
Not lately.
Celeste, I'm just waiting for the sale. Come on.
Right.
Sonic Mania is getting a Plus edition, I guess, called Sonic Mania Plus. So it's finally going to be physical, if you were looking for that. It's going to be coming to Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and they're adding a new game mode called Encore Mode, which gives you a way to explore every level, whatever that means. And you get to play as two characters called Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel.
Weird.
This is some deep lore cuts.
What?
I don't even know those characters.
Are they jumping the shark
I
as we speak?
I don't know.
Audience,
I
do
mean,
yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. In Google, type in your name and then the hedgehog.
Never do that.
No, don't do that.
Never do that. Don't listen to anything Collin says. No, let me ask you though: is this developed by the same kind of fan base that made the original developers of Sonic Mania, or is this made by Sega?
Yeah, no, it's the same people. I mean, it's not like this is a sequel. This is just a remastered edition or whatever.
Gotcha.
But like the game came out last fucking year.
I still need to beat it, by the way.
Oh, it's good. It's worth it. It's hard, but it's worth it. Let's see here. After the sad news of Stephen Hawking's passing, The community of Elite Dangerous did a 5-hour tour across 19 different stations that were all named after Stephen Hawking in one way or another. As kind of like a remembrance of him, which I think is pretty cool.
Awesome. One cool fact I heard about Stephen Hawking today on the drive home was that, you know, he easily could have had in our day and age a upgraded voice, but he liked the way that his, you know, old one sounded from the 80s, and he wanted to keep it that way. He thought of that as his voice.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought that was cool. Like,
wow,
I mean,
that
a
is
bunch
cool.
of people wanted to upgrade him because, you know, there's a lot of advances in that technology, and they could have made him sound pretty normal now, but he didn't want to. He elected to keep that one, so that was neat. I thought, never heard that before.
Yeah, maybe.
And you know, it's crazy. I actually was bored one day and I watched a Stephen Hawking lecture at like a guest lecture at a college.
Mm-hmm.
It was super interesting. Like, it took me a second to adjust to like kind of like making out his voice and stuff, but like once you get, like, it's incredible. Dude is just incredible.
Let me ask you, was he like, was it like live, like he was typing with his cheek like on stage, or did he already have it all prepared?
Yeah.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah, it was
so it took like 15 minutes for him to respond to stuff?
Oh no, it's very quick. It's super quick.
Oh.
Like,
but
he sat there and gave
live.
an entire lecture with it. It was crazy.
It wasn't like prepared and like scripted. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible. And the thing is, like, it was a long time ago, so I don't even remember what it was about, but like whatever he was talking about, it was like you could it was like he was talking in plain English. It was like a really complicated subject, but it was like he was very good at explaining it
in layman's terms. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Also, I have to
cool.
look that up, dude. You should link that.
Yeah, I'll have to look for it.
Do you guys remember the Atari box that was announced like, I don't know, a couple months ago?
Tried to forget it.
And everyone's like, well, why? Who asked for this, Nolan?
Yeah.
Nolan, who wanted this?
Yeah.
They've renamed the Atari box to the Atari VCS, not to be confused with the Atari 2600.
What the fuck?
And
Virtual
it's
console system.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, quote, a full PC experience for the TV, bringing you streaming applications, social, browsing, music, and more.
For Atari.
And it comes preloaded with old retro Atari games and the ability to play current titles from a range of studios.
What a waste of everyone's time this sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is this for? Who's going to buy it? Especially pay $250 to $300 for something.
What?
Yes.
Yep.
$250 to $300 is the price range.
A Switch or this is my choice.
That's what I'm saying. They're literally asking a price for something that everything else does nowadays.
Just wait 2 months. It'll be fucking $50 in a fire sale.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's one thing. Like, it's one thing if they were trying to cash in on the NES and SNES classic type markets, you know, with throwback consoles like mini consoles. I'm sure people would have ate that shit up if it was that was what it was going for. But it's,
dude, yeah,
this is ridiculous.
Just think about this. Actually reminds me, guys. There was a time where I walked into a Best Buy, and they had a pallet, a stack of Dreamcasts, completely brand new in box, $49.99 each.
What?
For a Dreamcast, yeah. When Sega discontinued it and they did a fire sale and everything, all the games were like $5, like brand new games were $5, and the console was $50, and everything was just like take it. Basically, it's free.
I can't tell you how much I wish I was a retro game collector in like 2005.
I did not have the money to buy one. It's one of my biggest like regrets. I did not have the money to buy it. Yeah, I was like, I already got one of these at home. Who cares? Ugh.
I paid $70 for a complete in-box Dreamcast. Obviously wasn't sealed, but like, yeah, just for that $70. Like,
and the Dreamcast was the first time where I had a friend, an enterprising fellow, I will say. He brought over a CDR with some Sharpie on top of it, put it in the Dreamcast, close the door, hit power. Oh, just every video game pretty much ever made until 1998, like on this one disc. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? Every like arcade game, Genesis, Super Nintendo on one disc. I was like, oh, this is why the Dreamcast is going out of business.
yeah, that was part of it. Still love
that.
Was
mind blowing though.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, the Atari box. Why? What are you doing? What you need to consult? Like, what have you not like brought in people to like consult and be like, hey, what do you guys think of this?
Yeah, focus test that
Dude,
shit. Oh, I need Bluetooth on my Atari.
Jeez.
Fuck.
I don't know. We're supposed to find out more details by the end of the week, but I kind of don't care.
Please, no one cares. Please tell me it comes with like wireless versions of those terrible joysticks and the one red button.
They've got both a like more modern design controller and then a joystick one as well.
Oh, this is so bad. The price is
it's atrocious.
So bad.
Yeah, there's nothing about this that's appealing to me.
Holy shit. Okay.
Except maybe the box itself. But
hey, speaking of boxes, so EA is going to be adding loot boxes back into Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah, actually today, Wednesday. They're adding them in Wednesday, and they have said that they're sticking to their guns about the loot crates are going to stay, but you can only get cosmetics and emotes from it, a la Overwatch. And you cannot purchase loot boxes with any kind of real world money. You can only get it, I believe, via in-game currency.
Okay. 4 words, and that's all I'm going to say about this. I know we're stressed for time. Too little, too late. The end. It's over. Fuck. You fucked it up. You fucked the pooch, man.
That was 14 words.
Okay.
Listen, guys, listen. Just listen for a second. That's the sound of no one caring anymore.
You need to put cricket sounds in there.
Yeah, like it's no one cares anymore.
No.
All the replies to that tweet, they actually put it on the official Twitter for EA Star Wars Battlefront, and all the replies were like, "Too little, too late, EA." Like no one gives a shit anymore.
No one's talking about your game anymore. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a really tough spot for them. They shows you how important these decisions are early in the process, because even they're trying their damnest to fix the fuck up. But no one cares now.
Well, here's
90
the thing.
days is an eternity.
Right, and you have this high profile, like, AAA release. You have this release window in November for a reason. And the way the climate is in the gaming scene nowadays, dude, is if you don't release the game on release date and it doesn't instantly clutch a player base, your game's pretty much dead in the water, because it's going to get buried by everything else that releases.
It does have a chance, but I don't know if they're willing to do what they need to do. It needs to be free to play, like right now.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Which means they would have to change again their progression model.
That's the only salvation, though, at this point, I feel like.
That's what happened to Knights of the Old, or to the Old Republic, and that ended up being profitable, quite profitable.
Yeah. And our final news story for today, it's kind of a sad one. Toys R Us, it's officially dying.
Damn it.
They're going to be closing all of their stores within the next... I believe 60 days, or they're going to start closing tomorrow, or not tomorrow, excuse me. They're going to start closing like last week. So I don't know. I mean, if you're probably going to be finding your Toys R Us closing pretty soon, if there's anything you wanted to pick up, you'd probably want to go there sooner rather than later.
So many good memories, guys. I remember... Here, I have 2 memories of it, and they all involve like going to this giant going to this giant aisle in Toys R Us, and they had like the pictures on the wall of the old Nintendo boxes and stuff, and they had like these paper cards with the price on it and the UPC code, and you picked up the card or the paper slip, took it to the cash register, paid for it, then you had to go back behind the registers to like this big glass lockbox place where they kept all the expensive stuff, give them the receipt and the ticket, then they give you your game, then you walk out. And I remember getting Gunstar Heroes on Sega Genesis way back in the 90s.
Gunstar Heroes.
Yes, bought it $20, by the way. One of the best games ever. $20, brand new out of Toys R Us. Had the most crusty, crispy, crunchy fruit roll-up in the box, too.
Gross.
Came with a fruit roll-up that was old as fuck. And it was hilarious just to think about. But that, and I remember my 13th birthday getting Doom on PlayStation 1. And like... just having my mind blown that I was playing Doom. And man, yeah, I don't know, I got a lot of good memories there. You guys ever hear about that haunted Toys R Us? I want to say it was in like Santa Barbara or Santa Clara, maybe.
No.
California. You guys ever hear that story?
No.
Anyways, yeah, there's a haunted Toys R Us no more. But man, Jeffrey the Giraffe, you'll be missed. I'll always be a Toys R Us kid. I'm sad though.
Yeah, man. I mean, I have fond memories of, especially my uncle taking there when I was younger, because my uncle would spoil me with all the coolest action figures. I'd have so many Samurai Warriors? Was that the name of the anime when I was a little kid? I don't know if you guys... No. Like, it was old. It was like, I think 80s, early 90s anime that they were playing reruns of, because they just translated it into English. It was bad. I think it was Samurai Warriors or something like that, but they had badass action figures. and tons of Dragon Ball Z action figures.
Nice.
Tons. And yeah, that just the best. I would always get so excited going to Toys R Us. But man, at the end of the day, it's easy to see why the place went under. Even now, like they're having all these clearance sales while they're closing out, and there ain't shit worth the deals. They're really not that great.
No.
And Toys R Us just refused to get with the times with a lot of their business practices. I also remember reading that it was like 2005 or 2006, and you guys can confirm this, but apparently they got bought out and they were put into a shit ton of debt by a company that bought them out.
Yeah, it was really fucked up situation.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was just, I mean, it was only a matter of time until it went out, man. And it's just, there just isn't really much of a need for it, especially when you can get a lot of those toys cheaper online.
They're all closing, up to like 33,000 people out of jobs, dude. It's rough.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I mean,
unfortunate.
It sucks. Like I'm not saying I'm no ill will on my end. I don't really want them to close, but I mean, there's just the reasons are. I mean, it's in the pudding, man.
You gotta you gotta be where the customers are. You gotta evolve, and they didn't fast enough. They weren't agile, and so these are the results. And dude, the malls are next. Malls are
a lot of those are already shutting down.
Yeah,
dude.
malls are, but it's gonna be a weird future, man.
Everything's gonna be taken over by Amazon, and we're going to have to
You
respect
joke, but I mean,
we'll have to respect our Prime overlords.
We're not.
I for one welcome our Amazon Prime overlords.
We're gonna have drones airdropping our shit.
It's actually kind of scary if you think about it, man. It kind of is.
But Amazon's so awesome though.
I mean, they are. If they would give me my damn games on time,
dude. I buy way too much shit on Amazon. No shit.
So we're heading into the final stretch of our podcast here. So I'm going to throw it over to me so we can do our question of the week. All right, gentlemen, I've got a pretty simple would you rather. It probably shouldn't take too much time, but it's something that I think a lot of people struggle with. And it's something that I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on.
Hey man, we don't talk about.
Yeah. So would you rather have erectile dysfunction or not?
Oh, is that what you were gonna say?
No.
So a lot of guys struggle with it, like, bro.
I was like, listen, man, we don't talk about my ED on here.
All right. Nice. So would you rather be underpaid but do your dream job, best job in the world, or would you rather be like six figures, but it's actually the worst? Like there's no redeeming quality.
There's no middle ground at all.
No middle ground. You're getting paid well, but like the worst working conditions, or best working conditions you can imagine. You're paid peanuts.
I'm pretty much know what Collin's gonna say. Go ahead, Collin.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty easy answer for me, and this is like, as a person that desperately wants to get into the gaming industry, easily underpaid. Like, yeah, underpaid, best job ever. Like that's the choice I made when I switched majors, because I was originally computer science, doing programming. You can make a lot of money if you get into the right programming job.
Okay. Sorry.
I just don't like the idea of sitting on computer programming. That's why I chose to do what I do. Nerd. And so I'm fully prepared to be underpaid for what I do. As long as I love it, I don't care.
So I fully agree with what you just said, but in order to make this interesting, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. And I'm going to say, listen, man, what if I'm just there 8 hours? I clock in, I clock the fuck out. I'm fucking raking in the cash. You can take all that money, and in 6 months' time, you're going to have fuck you money. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to. I mean, let's say you do a shit job for, let's say, 2, even 3 years. Like, you got a fucking nice little nest egg at the end of that time. You know, it's not to say like you're gonna be doing this for life. I think that. So you're
probably doing porn, is what you're saying.
Yes, and he's gonna walk out of that job with erectile dysfunction because he's used it up too much.
This is way too personal. You're crossing my boundaries. No, but wait, are you telling me 6 figures doing porn? Is that what you're saying? I don't think.
No, I mean that's the thing, though, right? Like a lot, like adult film actors and actresses.
Not actors. Like, actors get paid.
Well, yeah,
jack.
I guess less so actors. That's true. But like they have a tendency to like only do it for a short span of time. They make a shit ton of money in that short span of time, and then they get the hell out.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. So I mean, I think there's something to be said for doing something that maybe necessarily not be your dream job, but if it's paying a lot, there are some benefits to consider with that. You know, and especially if you know it's only gonna be short term. Like because if you have money in the bank, you have what do you have? You have a lot more choices. You have a lot more options. You know, you could be interviewing the whole time to do other stuff. You know, so that's my devil's advocate play. But of course, my true answer is that of course I would accept less money to do a job I absolutely love, because then you never feel like you're at work.
Exactly.
You never feel that way. So that's my actual answer.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I probably agree with that, but I do also understand where you're coming from, Jack. The idea of like keep it short term. Think about like in 3 years you'll make like at least $300,000. Like that's a lot of money saved up in the bank, right? So
that's
after that, pursue your dreams.
Yeah, there's some pluses that you could afford to take maybe even a year off. Who knows?
Yeah.
And pursue your dream, like you said.
Yeah, but if the job's bad enough, if it's the wrong thing, then yeah, you may only spend 3 months or whatever doing that job, but then you got to spend the rest of your life in fucking therapy.
But yeah, but also though, like you're saying, like, excuse me, I got the hiccups now.
Yikes.
You're saying you're getting paid a lot less. Like, so my next question is, well, how much less? Because if I have to work at fucking Toys R Us and the mall on top of my dream job, then life doesn't seem so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like
fair,
how much
yeah.
less? Like what, 20K? Are we talking like poverty level? Like I don't think I would do that if it was my dream job. I don't know if I would do it for 20K a year.
I mean, for example, the people that work at IGN, they live in San Francisco, which is one of the most expensive cities to live in the entire country. And those guys, like, they can't even hardly make ends meet living on the wage that IGN pays them.
Do you think they live in the city? Because that'd be so stupid.
Well, not in the city, but they can't, you know what I mean? They can't live in that area and make ends meet hardly. That's why a lot of the bigger personalities there have Patreons and stuff like that, and they do their own thing on top of doing IGN.
That's so fucked, because that reminds me of like Walmart. They just like make all their associates get food stamps to go on welfare and shit, rather than pay their employees a fair livable wage. So great, Walmart, yay.
Yeah, working sucks, guys. Working a job you don't like fucking's the worst.
And honestly, for the first time in my life, I can say I'm working a job that I don't hate.
But let's say, okay, we're on a video game podcast. Let's say like getting in the video game industry is all of our dreams, right? Let's say that I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But what happens when it becomes your job? And then like, you have to do bullshit, and then like it kind of fucks up your hobby. You get what I'm saying? Like, and now it's a job, and it's not your hobby. What you do for, like, what do you do when you want to have fun now? Because you're playing video games, 80 hours a week probably already.
And that definitely is like a trade-off, right? I think of like Collin Moriarty. I follow him pretty closely, and when he left Kind of Funny, he was kind of just turned off to the idea of video games altogether for a long time.
Sure.
He eventually came back to them, of course, but now he's back to finally playing video games for fun after playing them for his job for at least the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and
so
I kind of felt that a little bit in my short time with Tech Raptor and Game Luster, like just like writing about video games and immersing yourself in it and making it your work. It can be a little bit taxing. So it's a matter of how much passion do you actually have for it? Mm-hmm. Like, are you just a consumer, or do you actually care about the industry?
It's definitely not a healthy job market. It's one of those job markets where there's way too many people that want to do it and nowhere near enough positions to even fill like a percentage of that.
That's what you have to be really hungry to get in, man. And it's like people that play in like, say, a band. Like, I've heard this before from like metal bands. I'm a huge metalhead, but some metal bands are like, oh, well, like, hey, you're a metalhead, but like, do you actually listen to metal in your spare time all that often? Like, no. I find myself listening to like a lot of 70s pop or whatever, like just as
you're
an
just
example.
Like, motherfucker, metal is a lifestyle.
I mean, that's what I'm saying though. You hear it every night, you're playing it every night, you're around it constantly, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's fatigue.
My last point for this episode is I don't know if you guys have seen Tambourine. It's the new stand-up special from Chris Rock on Netflix. Like, check that shit out, because
I heard it's good.
Is it good? Okay.
No,
I like Chris Rock.
It's hilarious. Yeah, but he I forget where I was going with this now.
Tambourine, ladies and gentlemen.
He was just talking about, like oh, fuck, I just totally forgot what I was going to say. Stay tuned next week when I figure out what I was going to say about this comedy special. Because I keep thinking about this thing where he's talking about, this is not what I was going to say, but he was talking about relationships and like, you're in a band. It's kind of like you're in a band with each other, and someone's got to play the tambourine. You can't all be the lead singer. You can't all be like the guitar soloist. Like, you got a tambourine, motherfucker, tambourine. Anyways. It was way funnier in my head. I'll figure out what the hell I was trying to say. We're talking about like dream jobs and shit. I remember now. Thank God. Okay. This is about to just go south. Anyways, he's talking about how in school, in college, they're lying to these kids and be like, you can be anything you want. You can be anything you want to be. And he's like, why are you lying to these kids? They can't be whatever they want to be. He's like, I see 65 Uber drivers in this room. And he's like, the truth is you can be what you're good at, if they're hiring.
That's true.
It. That's
the
it.
fact.
Fucking dude. Yeah, it really is though.
Yeah, you can be what you're good at if they're hiring, and then it goes. Even then, it helps to know somebody. So
Right,
that's the
it's
actual
true.
truth.
I mean, that's the thing, dude. If you don't, if you could be the most hardworking motherfucker there is, like you could be busting your ass, but if you don't know the right people, you're not good at networking. If networking is not something you're good at, man, it's tough. It's like you're throwing a lot of that work away.
I would
really
say
is.
it's almost 60% networking skills.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
It's
60%
60% of it,
100% of the time.
Exactly. So on that note, let's wrap this show up, shall we? So if you enjoyed what we did here on this podcast, you can email us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts, opinions, etc., and we can read things out on live on this pre-recorded show. If you want to follow us on all of our social media channels, they are all on tinydisc.com, and that's also where you can find all of our previous episodes if you are so inclined to check those out. If you want, you could leave us an iTunes review. That'd be really helpful. It'd be really cool. If not an iTunes review, just tell a friend. Go to work and find someone who doesn't work in your department and kind of give them a good scare and then tell them to listen to this podcast because it's not as scary as what you just did to them.
Okay.
What we're going to be doing next week, actually, something that you might be interested in. I'm sorry, I'm losing it. Okay, so Terrace House opening new doors came out on Netflix last Tuesday, and some of us are still in the process of finishing up these 8 episodes. Some of us have already finished it.
Is it coming out in like 3 8-episode chunks? Is that what's happening?
I don't know how many chunks, but I believe that it's going to be 8-episode chunks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chunks TBD.
Chunks TM.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'll just use my dad's credit card to pay for it. It's fine.
Rip. Spoilers. Spoilers already. So next week we're just going to do probably a pretty lengthy Terrace House spoiler cast. It's probably going to be most, if not all, of the show. For next week because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering all 8 episodes. If you are interested in following us on this wonderful, humble, wholesome Japanese journey, just go on Netflix. Watch all 8 episodes. They're around 30 to 40 minutes a piece.
Terrace House
really good.
opening new doors because there's multiple seasons. Make sure you're watching that one. And I think there's 8 episodes available right now. So you have over a week to watch them all and then come back and join us next Thursday.
Yes, and it's going to be amazing because I've gotten to the end and I know it's amazing, and I think talking about it is just going to be so much fun. That should do it for us. Where can we find you guys online on the internet?
You know me, Collin Amano, on Twitter, aka @booboo__55.
At JACCEPEDA, Mr. Cepeda.
If you're nasty.
The branding is so strong, even when it's dead. You can find me at Panoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. Thank you so very, very much for listening to the Tiny Disc Podcast, and we'll see you in our Terrace House next Thursday.
Ricola.